Greetings and happy Thanksgiving. Patrick here, Have Cheetah Will View. Yes, right, it's Thanksgiving today, and we are doing a film review. Uh, that's, that's right. Uh, yeah, why not, right? Hey, reviewers have to keep working. The movies just keep coming. So anyway, me and the Cheeto, we are still locked into our sort of like Gento mode this month. We've been doing a lot of, smaller movies and what have you. Nothing really earth shattering as far as action, adventure, or gore goes. And we're all right with that. And what a perfect way to segue into the movie that we'll be talking about today. Because this movie actually has a little bit of action and adventure and daring do, and that is from 2012, Undercover Bridesmaid from the Hallmark Channel. That's right. Now notice that the last one we did, How to Fall in Love and Undercover Bridesmaid. Notice that they're not Christmas movies. We should get bonus points for that, kids. This is, like I said, this is from 2012. Undercover Bridesmaid stars Brooke Burns, who plays Tanya, and Nicole Peggy, who plays Daisy. Gregory Harrison plays Mr. Thompson, and a whole slew of other talented actors. And believe me, this is a fun movie to watch. So the story is that Tanya is a she's sort of like she's a paid security consultant. She works securities for VIPs and high profile characters. Uh, so we see her as she saves a Turkish diplomat, and we see her save him. So we see that she's pretty badass, and so that leads her to getting a new assignment where Mr. Thompson wants to hire a Tanya security company to keep an eye on her daughter Daisy because she's getting married, and there's been multiple threats coming into the Daisy, and so of course this makes Mr. Thompson rather grumpy, and he wants the best security, and of course so they want to get they want her close without being too close. Well, you can't have both ways. You got if you're gonna want her to be your daughter's shadow, you're gonna have to you know you're gonna have to get in real close, and that means becoming a bridesmaid in Daisy's upcoming wedding to Chip. Uh, so wow, that's a tough task for Tanya. Not the security aspect of it, but the fact that she got stood up at her wedding, and so she was a little bit traumatized by that. She does not like weddings too much. So when she gets told that she has to be part of a bridesmaid, she's not exactly too thrilled about the assignment. But she does. She goes in and she meets Daisy and her friends, um, and Mr. Thompson is also in the middle of a massive merger with this company to another. So he's very wealthy, and he's taking his business to he's merging his business with a bigger business. It's a lot of money involved, and everybody seems to have their hand out. They all want something from Thompson as far as money goes, um, and so they're having this wedding as this extravagant estate, and so any number one of the party could be uh, the crook, could be the mastermind. And I got to tell you, that's one thing that Hallmark does pretty well when they do their detective stories. They do hide the villains very very well. Um, you don't see who it is right off the bat. Like normally, like most of the time, you can easily tell who the crook is. Not always on the Hallmark Channel movies, and I applaud them for that. It's not always the most likeliest person, and they don't do the old rule of thumb, where it's like the first person that you meet, like the detective meets the first person that they meet is generally the one who's behind the crime. They don't do that trope either, and so we are really left wondering who is threatening Daisy Thompson and her wedding. who wants to break up. And so there's all sorts of misadventures that happen. And Tanya, she meets Jake, and Jake turns out is not exactly who he seems to be. He's supposed to be a law student, finishing up his law degree, going to go work at a law firm. We find out that's not true. He is actually he's never even enrolled in law school. So that raises the red flag up, and that's a bummer because Tanya seems to like Jake quite a bit. So she's also she's also is not alone in her quest to protect Daisy. She's also joined by her good friend Henry, who runs interference as well. They actually made a really good team. Henry and Tanya actually would have made a really interesting series. And this would not have been Brooke Burns' first rodeo at that. She did a Hallmark series for their mystery channel, and they did that with the Gourmet Detective. And some of you might remember Brooke Burns. But her first call to fame was people remember her mostly was she appeared on Baywatch. She was on Baywatch for a couple of years, maybe more than that, but she was on there, and she's been on a lot of Hallmark movies since then. Um, and of course, the cast is really good. I can never really fault a Hallmark Channel cast. They're smart. They definitely know the audience. Um, Gregory Harrison's in here. He's the other big name besides Brooke Burns playing Mr. Thompson. Um, but the actress who really stole this movie for me, who really I was like, wow, she's really fun to watch, was Nicole Peggy. Wow, she's a little dynamo. She reminded me a lot of Christian Chenoweth. Really tiny, tiny blonde with a lot of energy, and it comes right at you off the screen. What a terrific little actress she is. I mean, she got some skills. I know this is 2012, and when I went over to Brooke Burns, as it seems, might have retired actually. She has not done anything in over 3 years, so she either taken a break or she retired. I don't sure. Greg Harrison's still working, but I went to look to see what Nicole Peggy was up to, and I'm not really so sure she's working either, which would be really heartbreaking because I thought she was really, really good. She did one episode of the Rookies Feds, and she has a miniseries that's supposed to be coming up called The Sterling Affairs, which I never heard of. But I thought she was outstanding in this, and this was a lot of fun too. A good introduction to her and her acting. Um, yeah, you will be surprised to see who it was. They hide the villains a little bit. Actually, I would say a little bit too well because the ending seemed really, really rushed. It was like it went like you don't really find out literally until like the last 5 minutes of the movie, and that's a little bit cutting it too thin for me. It's okay to discover your villain and the motives why, and it would have been nice to see her try to pick up more clues as to what it was instead of just standing there and having it all hit all at once. Oh, that's what it all means. Okay, now I know who the villain is. It would have been nice to have it stretched out to have her, discover a little bit more on the villain. That was my only complaint about it was that I thought the ending was a little rushed, but still doesn't take away from how much fun it is. You can get this on hallmarkchannel.com, hallmark.com. I'm sure Amazon, and I'm sure that eBay, you can get a copy of that at eBay as well. I'm sure you could find it for a really good price. There's no special features on it. It runs for about 85 minutes. Rated G. In fact, it even got a little watcher's dove on here. There's nothing objectionable about this movie in the slightest. It's a really good mystery. You will be you'll enjoy it. All right, that's it for us. Thank you so much for watching and supporting our channel. I appreciate it so much, and we will be back as far as full time up and running. We will be back on Sunday, the 24th, or the 26th. We'll be back on Sunday the 26th. Let me run get the calendar. I think it is the 20th. Ah, the 26th. It's right. Next this Sunday here, we will be here on the IFC Midnight Show, and we will be watching What Keeps You Alive, and that's what we'll be watching and discussing. All right. Thanks so much, and we will talk to you soon.